All right, excellent afternoon to all those who are watching us across the globe. Integrity remains a key component of leadership, and in essence, this is what makes us stand by our word in, will I say Real Talk with Kike?
Absolutely.
Live show. Again, I say I welcome you all. My name remains Kike Atanda-Owo, and of course, I am with the Real Talkers. Who are the Real Talkers? The main Pepe Dan is on the platform today. How are you doing, Damilola? Let me come to you first.
It's my first time seeing you this year, so Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
you look fabulous as always. Hi, everybody. It's another wonderful episode of Real Talk with Kike in 2022. It's our second edition, and we hope that you keep it real with us. We pray that may the Almighty meet us at the point of our needs. Welcome again. My name is Damilola Banire. Masha, you gave us Baba Yoruba today.
Well, I just picked out something from my wardrobe. Okay. I wasn't really particular about the ethnic group I was going to project. Well, my name is Marshall Anthony, for the avoidance of doubt. One of the co-hosts on the Real Talk with Kike show, the RTWK show, like I like to call it. I'm hanging out with Damilola, my best girlfriend, and chief wife. Kike Atanda-Owo.
Chief wife, all right.
Chief wife, just bring the front.
2 years ago, something happened to journalists at Daily Trust in Maiduguri. Let's hear what the history is all about on this Day in History segment. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
On this day in history, January 6, 2019, exactly 3 years ago, armed soldiers shut down the Daily Trust Maiduguri office and arrested its Northeast Regional Bureau Chief, Uthman Abubakar, along with the reporter, Ibrahim Sawab. A few hours later, more troops arrived at the newspaper's Abuja head office, arrested an operations staff member, and carted away several computers. The staff member was released later that evening, and Sawab was released early the next day, but Abubakar's whereabouts are unknown. A statement released on January 7, the army spokesman, Sani Usman, said that soldiers accompanied by members of the Nigerian police force and other security agencies conducted the raids and wanted the Daily Trust staff to answer questions about story published on January 6. The statement alleged that the article diverged classified military information related to planned attacks against Boko Haram and thus undermined national security.
All right, exactly 3 years ago, Abubakar's appearance is still very unknown. Masha, what's your take on this? Because I feel that it's still happening. You know, like I normally say that there are a lot of things that has remained a culture. And for one of our own colleagues, you know, still, you know, it's like there's no freedom of expression. And hence the reason why you see a lot of people run out of the country when they leave their position or something. What's your take on this?
Yeah, so sad that years down the line, we still can't pinpoint or lay hands on where his whereabouts, and it only also brings to mind the attack on the media. The media really suffered in the military dispensation or military era, and to have a democratic dispensation or democratic administration and have the media being attacked like that is not something that should be. It's sad that Abubakar's whereabouts is still unknown. This should, like, I feel that some human rights organizations should bring this again to the fore, and even the organization itself, the media organization, should also take it up. I don't know, I'm not following the story. I don't know how far they've gone with that in approaching the government with that.
Well, I think that I read Atiku Abubakar's submission, and he posted on Twitter saying that freedom of press is the bedrock of our democracy and nothing should be done to compromise it. But however, we are here 3 years down the line. It happened last year, it happened the year before. Now, who authorized the raid? And what was done after the raid? What measures have been put in place to mitigate the scruffle that usually happens between is either police and press or the military and press? It feels like they come with their knife and they come to gag us every time we want to speak. But freedom of expression is part of our fundamental human rights. So whatever it is, I think a roundtable discussion should have been met. Oh, you people were not supposed to publish this. It's a classified news. Okay. And I'm sure that if Daily Trust of that published it had gone ahead to do that, they must have had their facts and figures to say, okay, maybe the military wants to be funny in this way, and let's put it out there. But we already know the style of coming to clamp us down by force, and I don't think going forward, if we really want a country of inclusion, I don't think we should be engaging in such.
In a country with over 200 million people, let me put it like that, in human capital is not an issue or a contention, but leadership, direction, resourceful management and organization remains the challenge of human capital development. And this is a semblance of Nigerian system, a country with millions of brains and vast amount of natural resources, yet another country struggle to refer to us as a developing or emerging country. It's so sad, you know, but our issues are in stages when it comes to leadership and human capital resources in Nigeria. And in the first stage, we have human resources, and they are underutilized, if that's the right word to use right now. In the second stage, and of course, the development of human capacity is below potential, and in the agony, you know, in stage of our human challenges as well. So we have the little of, the little of our well-developed resources being drained to developed countries to render their own services, their own personal development. And on the show today, we are discussing these challenges, and we will be looking at the role of leadership in managing these challenges. And we have the right person who I would say that is a proficient public speaker. Yeah, that's the word I want to use. And once a stakeholder in the previous administration of President Goodluck Jonathan till 2015. Right, welcome to the show, Reno Omokri. It's a pleasure to have you on Real Talk with Kike live show. And I must start from saying Happy New Year to you. How are you doing? And should I say apologies? Apologies that I have to use my phone call to interrupt, you know, your sleep. But, you know, how are you doing today?
I'm very good. Thank you for having me. Happy New Year to you and to your co-hosts.
All right, many thanks for that. So let's just go straight to the point, because I know time is of essence. You know, talking about empowering human resources. Last year, September, President Muhammadu Buhari unveiled a job creation initiative to empower, or to employ rather, 20,000 graduates annually, amongst many other initiatives. However, the resultant effect of this initiative are not felt in our system. So I must ask you, what could be the problem?
Well, the problem is that this administration is rather profligate in the way it's been handling the macroeconomic issues in Nigeria. So it's not about governments don't create jobs. If you look at the US job reports and if you look at the UK job reports, governments don't create jobs. Government creates the enabling environment for jobs to be created. So if you look at the latest, and you know, fortunately it was just released yesterday, the latest US jobs report, about 807,000 jobs were created. And then of these jobs that were created, less than 1% was created in the governmental sector. You know, jobs are created by the private sector. But when you have a situation whereby you have our debt service to revenue ratio in Nigeria right now, it's 98%. So what this means is, for those who don't understand, is that for every 2 naira Nigeria makes, 98 kobo is being spent on servicing debt. And then when you're servicing debt, you're not repaying your debt, you're only paying the minimum amount of the debt. And Fitch Ratings has said that Nigeria's debt service to income ratio is going to rise to 395% this year. So when you have that kind of when you have that kind of high debt service to revenue ratio, it means that you've borrowed too much from foreign governments. And when you borrow too much from foreign governments, it puts a negative downward pressure on your currency. And when you have a negative downward pressure on your currency, there's going to be inflation. And when there's inflation, you're going to have capital flight. And when you have capital flight, jobs cannot be created. So it's not about, the government should not be creating jobs. The government should be creating the right environment for creating jobs. And we're not seeing that right environment. You know, until we have that right environment whereby we do not spend most of our money on paying for a federal civil service of less than 1 million people, and then we're spending less than our revenue, less than 5% of our revenue is actually seeping down to the grassroots. When you have this kind of environment, jobs are not going to be created.
Okay, Reno, I fondly call you when I meet you, some of your nuggets on Facebook, Instagram, and say, Reno has started again. Compliments of the season, sir. But here you are talking about an enabling environment, which I really do not think that the current administration is paying attention to. If I listen to all of your submissions and the way it is supposed to be, but now we have issues of even multiple taxations, insecurity, poor infrastructure, like talking about human capacity development. People are willing to create jobs for themselves, but it seems like the government keeps hunting these jobs down, these opportunities down with different taxations. Are we talking about bad leadership here or bad policies?
Well, you see, bad policies come from bad leadership. I'm going to give you a very good example. Look at Twitter. Twitter was banned in Nigeria. Now, every Nigerian is still on Twitter. They just go with a VPN and they get on Twitter. Now, so the banning of Twitter has no, I mean, it's a law that cannot be implemented. However, because you have banned Twitter, corporate Nigeria cannot go on Twitter to invest, to advertise. And so Nigeria has lost $600 million, as I'm speaking to you right now, from the ban on Twitter, a ban that is not effective, a ban that has no effect on Twitter. Twitter stocks went up. So who is losing? You've cut your nose to spite your face. We banned cryptocurrency. Until we banned cryptocurrency, something like $1.8 billion was coming into Nigeria annually from people who were investing in cryptocurrency. Now you've banned it. Now, what sense does it make? You know, people who were involved in cryptocurrency simply moved to Ghana, to Benin Republic, to Togo. So it led to massive capital flight. So you made a law that you were not able to implement, and at the end of the day, you just led to massive capital flight out of your country. And it's not just that. You look at a situation like this. You took a loan of several billions of dollars, about $2.4 billion, to build a railway to Niger Republic. Niger Republic, and your viewers can actually research it, because I did, in fact. With Niger Republic has a gross domestic product that is $13.8 billion. Now, when you're building a $2.4 billion railway to a country where everything in that country is worth less than $20 billion, there is no economic imperative for that. Anambra State in Nigeria alone has an internal economy that is 2.5 times the economy of Niger Republic. Why are you not building a railway there? This is, I mean, it's the kind of policies where you have a man who doesn't understand economics, and then he's not surrounded himself with all men who can compensate for his weakness. Rather, he's surrounded himself with people like Garba Shehu and Femi Adesina, who tell him, oh, everything you're doing is splendid. These kinds of yes men. I was a presidential spokesman. I spoke to the president. I disagreed with him. I told him things, you know, I mean, that when I disagreed with him. And he had an economic management team. We don't see an economic management team around this president, because if you have an economic management team, why would you borrow money to invest on something like the Niger Republic Railway? It makes no economic sense.
Okay, I'd like to ask, you spoke about the Fitz rating and how, you know, it indicates that we've overborrowed. Just only in our previous episode, we had the special assistant to the president, the media aide, Femi Adesina, on the show, and he spoke about how Nigeria hasn't borrowed enough. I'm trying to juxtapose what you've opined and his. How can you help me make a comparison with Nigeria hasn't borrowed enough, and then you saying that the Fitz rating and all the ratings you have indicate that we've over-borrowed?
Well, I don't give an opinion, you know, because what you said, I opined. No, I did not opine. I stated facts. You know, right now, according to the World Economic Forum, you know what, your viewers, as I'm speaking right now, they can research this. Nigeria's debt service to income revenue, debt service to revenue ratio is 98%. So what this means is that if you have 2 naira coming into Nigeria, out of that 2 naira, 98 kobo, almost 50% of that money is going towards servicing debt. And when you're servicing debt, you're not repaying debt. You're paying the minimum interest on the debt. So in 2015, when this administration came, May 29, 2015, Nigeria was owing a total debt of about 11.7 trillion naira. Let's just say 12 trillion naira. As I speak to you right now, Nigeria owes a debt of about 39 trillion naira. 39 trillion naira. So you see, our debt has increased 4-fold. Now, when you have your debt increasing fourfold, and then this administration says that they're going to borrow an additional 12 trillion this year. So already you have a debt service to income ratio of about 98%, and then you want to borrow more. So it's going to push your debt service to income ratio higher. So that's a fact. Femi Adesina is obviously he's paid to launder the image of this administration. So he will come and he will give opinions. I don't give opinions. You see, I'm quoting people. I'm giving dates. Unless this administration stops this profligate borrowing, and what are they borrowing for? They are borrowing to pay salaries. Before this administration came in, Nigeria was spending 360 billion naira annually on fuel subsidy. The man at the top, Muhammadu Buhari, said fuel subsidy is a scam. He came in, and now Nigeria is paying at 4 times that amount. We're actually paying 1.3 trillion naira every year on fuel subsidy. What has happened? Have the number of cars in Nigeria increased by fourfold? Obviously not. Something is wrong somewhere. And so it is, look, this administration came in and said they were going to fight corruption. As at the time that they came in, Nigeria was 136 in Transparency International's Corruption Perception Index. Today, we are 144. That means we have moved backward by 8 steps. So you can't, take the word of somebody like Femi Adesina who gives you his opinions. No, you look at people, international agencies who don't have a dog in this fight and who give you the facts. I mean, every human indices, like so you have the human development indices. On every scale of the human development index, Nigeria has gone backward. Now, Nigeria is the world headquarters for extreme poverty. Now, before we used to have something like 57 million poor people. Now we have something like 100 million for extremely poor people. And it's increasing. Look at security. The reason why we're having insecurity is because we were not educating our young people. In northern Nigeria, you have something like 12 million out-of-school children, according to UNESCO. The previous administration, the president had this scheme of building elementary schools. He built 169 of them. Initially, he wanted to build 400, but he didn't get the second term, so he built 169 of them. This administration came in, headed by a northerner. This man has not built one school. So now, you having children who were in 2015, when this administration came in, they were of school age. Now, we didn't have enough schools. This administration has not built more schools. So these children are going to be out of the school system. They're going to be vulnerable to terrorists. Meanwhile, you having the National Assembly under this administration having a budget that could build schools in each and every Nigerian state. So there is, I think what it was Kike that talked about, is it bad leadership or bad decisions? No, bad decisions flow from bad leadership.
I think I would still like to stick to the educational system, because as far as I'm concerned, I feel that our educational institution and our university can be faulted with the type of human resources we produce in our country. However, I believe that what are taught in school today are outdated, and that is one of the reasons why we are having some of the challenges we are facing today. So I must ask you, what are your take when it comes to our educational system and the type of human capital that we should be building right now to solve some of the challenges we are facing today?
You see, I travel a lot, and yes, I schooled in England. I'm probably well educated by some people's standards, but it is education that I got from traveling that has built me up to what I am right now. You see, if you look at the countries that are growing their economy, take a country like Germany, Japan, the United States, they're focusing on STEM education. What is STEM education? That is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Most of the courses that are offered by Nigerian universities are obsolete. In this world, they're obsolete. I don't want to call these courses and offend people, and then people get very upset. But what we should be doing, rather than subsidizing a fuel, because what happens, you buy fuel, you put it in your car, the fuel is just spent off, and then there's no value. That value is lost immediately. Nigeria should be subsidizing STEM education. So that money, that 1.3 trillion that we're using to subsidize fuel subsidy, we should kill the fuel subsidy and instead say to Nigerian children, if you want to go to university to read science, technology, engineering, and maths, the Nigerian government will pay your school fees and then give you a bursary. So you can go there, but you have to sign a bond. After you have gone there, you must serve and work for Nigeria for a period of 5 years, and then after that, you can go. I've been to Ethiopia 15 times. In Ethiopia, that's what the government does in Ethiopia. The Ethiopian government, university education is free in Ethiopia. However, the government of Ethiopia will not give you your certificate unless you have served the government for, I can't remember the number of years. And so that's it. And then in Ethiopia, they are focusing on STEM. No country can grow if you're focusing on liberal arts, people going to universities to read liberal arts or to read, and I mean, I don't want to offend people, but to read Islamic studies, Christian studies, those are not the things that build a nation. Today, a nation needs STEM. And if you look at it, if you look at a country like Germany, you know, Germany has really developed this so much to the extent that, in fact, it is not even the government or that are building universities or private individuals that are building universities. In Germany, conglomerates, corporations build universities like Mercedes, you know, like Siemens, you know, like, you know, this, they build their own schools. And then in Germany, more people actually go to these technical schools built by these corporations.
But
and then they flow into...
Reno, apologies, I might have to interrupt your line of thought, because I feel that information technology is championing major developments in most of these countries that you are mentioning. So, and it's driving or emerging economics around the world, especially when it comes to data, because data from the Nigerian communication year, that's NCC, you know, shows that telecommunication contributed as much as, I think, over I can't remember now, because I know that Reno is on the show, so I have to make sure that I'm quoting the right thing. As contributed as much as 12 million, over 12 billion of GDP in the last quarter of 2020. So I must ask you, how do you think our leaders, you know, should be using information technology, you know, to complement our human capital productivity in Nigeria with all that you've shared thus far? Because I feel that one of the challenges we are facing today is lack of data.
Well, for data, you know, Nigeria has always been, especially since the Obasanjo administration, one of the top data countries in the world. It might surprise you, we're not behind in data. You know, as a matter of fact, like a country like, if you look at cryptocurrency data coming from the cryptocurrency world, I believe Nigeria is only behind a country like India in terms of people who invest in cryptocurrency. What we shouldn't be looking at, we don't have a problem with data. If you even look at like the number of cell phones, internet-enabled smartphones in Nigeria, it's close to 100 million. If you look at people who have registered for the NIN in Nigeria, I believe it's about 79 million. We really don't have a problem with data. Like I said, the problem is bad leadership and bad policies. So take something, for instance, like cryptocurrency. When you have something like that is bringing in so much needed funds into your country, you know, I'll give a very good example. In Nigeria is not even the number one destination for foreign direct investment. That is Ghana. Meanwhile, in 2013, Nigeria was the number one destination for foreign direct investment in the whole of Africa. So when you have these things, you shouldn't be banning things like cryptocurrency. Rather, what you should do is that you should set up like a regulatory body. You know, like maybe if you might go with the Securities and Exchange Commission, or you set up another body. In the United States, for instance, it's not even the federal government that regulates cryptocurrency. They've left it to the states. So in New York, you have the New York State Department of Financial Services that is regulating cryptocurrency. And now they've even given a license, a nod to Binance to have their own digitized US dollars, which are called BUSD. So Nigerians are very, very savvy with the internet. They're very, very savvy with data. However, if you don't allow them to have positive opportunities to use it, then they're going to use it negatively. That's why a lot of our young people are involved in things that they call Yahoo or Yahoo Plus.
Okay, Reno, I would just like to digress a bit, and I have learned, according to my question, that of course bad leadership begets bad policies. Now, how do we shop for good leaders? I mean, empathetic leaders come 2023, knowing that this year will be fully saturated with different people. What should Nigerians look out for in terms of resume, pedigree, strength, and some of these qualities of a leader? What should we look out for?
Muhammadu Buhari was elected based on ethnicity. He was elected based on ethnicity. So you had a situation whereby he had always been a northern candidate. So he had a captive audience in northern Nigeria, whereby in 2023, 2007, 2011, he always had 12 million votes. It never changed. He was always producing 12 million votes, 12 million votes. So he was elected on the basis of ethnicity. All he needed was somebody from the south, in this case, Bola Tinubu, to just add a few more votes so that he could have a majority, which he had in 2015. So we've learned that lesson. When you elect a leader based on ethnicity, what you're going to have is what we're having right now in Nigeria. So we have to drop identity politics. We have to drop identity politics of ethnicity, religion, creed, region, where you're from, and focus on capacity, capability. We have to focus on what the person is able to do. And the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. So for instance, you look at Muhammadu Buhari. In the past, he has not been able to run his own personal businesses in a profitable manner. You know, if you look at his the form that he filed with the Code of Conduct Bureau, you look at his form, he said in 2011 and then also in 2015, he had 150 cows. His cows have not multiplied in value. They are not increased in number. Now, a man who cannot increase 150 cows, how can you expect him to increase the fortunes of 200 million people? It's not going to be possible. So you have to look at the background of people. Unfortunately, both on the People's Democratic Party side and on the APC, the kinds of people who are saying that they want to contest, each of them is individually better than Muhammadu Buhari. Whether you're talking about Bola Tinubu, or say Vice President Osibanjo, or Governor Fayemi on the APC side, or talking about Atiku Abubakar, or Governor Aminu Tambuwal, Governor Bala Obaji, or the former Senate President Abubakar Saraki on the PDP side. Each of them individually is going to be better than Muhammadu Buhari. So we have to do away with identity politics. Where this person comes from, who is he, north, south? No, we just have to look at capacity. And the only way you can understand the capacity of somebody is to look at what he has done before in the past.
Reno, talking about leadership, and Dami has brought up the issue of resume of the leaders and what to look out for. And you've said, look, capacity is number one. You've once said you'll never join the All Progressives Congress, the APC. And word on the street is your former principal, Goodluck Jonathan, the former president of Nigeria, might be billed to join the APC to contest in the 2023 general elections. I'm wondering where that leaves you, how it leaves you, or how it meets you rather. What's your take on if your principal eventually joins APC? All
right, Reno, before you answer that, let me use this opportunity to open our phone lines. Remember that you can be part of this conversation by calling the studio number 0800-988-77400, showing on your screen right now. Remember, we are streaming live on Silverbird platform, on YouTube and on Facebook, and of course on Real Talk with Kike platform. Reno, the floor is open for you.
Well, if you look at that story was first published in the Nation newspapers. Now, who is the owner of the Nation newspapers? The Nation newspapers is owned by Bola Tinubu. Bola Tinubu has been having some insecurities because he's been seeing former President Goodluck Jonathan with President Buhari, and he doesn't understand this. And because of these insecurities and his desperation to be president, he floats these false stories. Now, look at what I said: false stories. You guys know my relationship with former President Jonathan. The reason why former President Jonathan met with President Buhari about 5 days ago is because he was at the head of the peace-building efforts that were holding in ECOWAS, of which they met at in Cote d'Ivoire. And then he came back to Nigeria, and then immediately he came back, he went and saw President Muhammadu Buhari. It has nothing to do with politics. If you are on the peace-building mission as a former leader in any country, when you return to your country, you have to go and see the president of your country, whether you like that person or you don't like that person. That's what happens. If you look at each and every time former President Jonathan has gone to meet with President Muhammadu Buhari at the presidential villa, it has always coincided with when he comes back from peace-building efforts, either to Cote d'Ivoire or to Mali or to South Africa, where he went for election monitoring, or Tanzania. So that's it. So people are reading meanings into nothing. Former President Jonathan is not going to join the All Progressive Congress. Now that is my personal opinion. I've not asked him about it, but I'm telling you personally, I do not believe it is balderdash. He's not going to join the All Progressive Congress. And also, I'm not going to join the All Progressive Congress. I've got a business, a very, very successful business. The kinds of people that do it, that jump from party to party, are people who do not have a business, who do not have principles to stand on. I am 47, I'm going to be 48 this year. In all my life, I've only been associated with one party. In all my life, I've only been associated with one religion. In all my life, I've only been associated with one economic theory. So that is stability. And if you look at my life, when I have a friend, and I say this person is my friend, like former President Jonathan, or somebody, I'm very loyal. You can look at my life. So there's stability. So don't be comparing me with a man who is wishy-washy, who is with one woman today, another woman tomorrow, who is with one party today, with another party today. No, my name is Reno Omokri. You judge me by my past behavior, not by somebody else's past behavior.
All right, Reno, many thanks for that. I think before I ask you the next question, let me use this opportunity to wish you happy birthday in advance. In 16 days' time, Reno will be 47, right?
Oh, no, I don't celebrate my birthdays.
Okay, all right. So, okay,
we're just wishing you.
Okay, we're just wishing you. All right, going straight to the topic at hand, the word on the streets is that people are quick to discredit Buhari's regime, but fail to realize that President Buhari's regime has been fighting the series of corruption left by the previous administration that has led the country into financial and economic misery. So my question to you that we had the likes of we had the likes of Desiani, and many others who are examples. What do you have to say about this?
Please let me quickly respond to that. The Muhammadu Buhari administration cannot be a judge in their own case. There's only one body internationally that has been given the mandate to determine who is corrupt and who is not corrupt, and that is Transparency International. Transparency International has said that Nigeria is by far more corrupt today than at any time during the government of former President Jonathan. As a matter of fact, Nigeria made her best improvement on the Corruption Perception Index of the country of Transparency International in 2014 under former President Jonathan, where we moved 12 paces forward and we became 136. Today we've gone 8 paces backward. We are at 144. So when you look at that, those are facts. Those are not opinions. Now let's bring and talk about personal issues. Now, if you look at personal issues, the people, I'll give you an example. We talked about Desiani. Now, the EFCC, they leaked stories to the media, and then when the EFCC chairman came on a show like this, he came on a show like that, where there was no wiggle room, and then he was asked directly about Desiani, and he said, "Look, it is not true. That particular story that they have put about Desiani's diamond-studded bras and all those things, that those things were not true." Now, you talk about the next big so-called corruption case under former President Jonathan, and that is Colonel Sambo Dasuki. Colonel Sambo Dasuki has said all those things are lies. Give me my day in court. This administration has refused to go to court. They said they want a secret trial. The man said, "No, I have got my receipts, I've got my documents. I want an open trial with journalists like the beautiful Kike and your colleagues to come." And this administration has said no. So why? Now, let us now talk about this administration. You talked about corruption. This administration told who the owners of the Ikoyi apartment billions are. If that money was connected to the previous administration or to the PDP, they would have told you the person in 2 seconds. The Ikoyi apartment billions are connected to somebody in this administration. I know the person, but I'm not going to mention the name. So who is that? Now, what about Babachi Lawal? Babachi Lawal was caught with his hand in the kitty. He was caught. This is not an opinion. This is a fact. What has happened to him? The man says that he still goes to the villa to meet with Muhammadu Buhari. In 2016, the then Minister of State for Petroleum, Ibe Kachiku, revealed in a leaked memo that $25 billion worth of contracts were given without due process in the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation. Till today, that has not been investigated. It was swept under the carpet. Nasser Danu, a member of President Muhammadu Buhari's kitchen cabinet, was arrested at London Heathrow Airport with a fake passport and huge sums of foreign exchange. He was arrested, deported back to Nigeria. The next thing we saw him at Aso Rock shaking hands with President Muhammadu Buhari, and the picture was on this day. Now, Aisha Buhari's ABC was arrested. They said the man had been, he had siphoned billions of naira. Suddenly, the case was swept under the carpet. We did not hear about it. Now, what happened to that case? What about the former DG of the...
Apologies, Reno. I might have to interrupt your line of thoughts. We have a lot of calls waiting for you. Hello, what's your name and where are you calling from? Please go straight to the point, please.
Kike, can you remember that,
All right, that's true. All right, I think I might have to let that go. All right, Reno, I know that time is of the essence.
You can take one more question.
All right,
All
right, so the next question I want to ask you is that, Buhari said that he will not interfere with the judiciary on Nnamdi Kanu's case, that he should defend himself in court despite promising the Igbo elders of his freedom. What's it called? I think last year, November to be precise. That was one of the interviews he granted that we saw on our social media platform in the last 12 hours. But I must ask you, what do you think of the judiciary and the trial of Nnamdi Kanu? You know, because I know that this can make a lot of people after war not want to return to the country because of things like this.
Well, I mean, Muhammadu Buhari is silly for saying that he doesn't want to interfere with the judiciary. Why? Because Nnamdi Kanu being in Nigeria is already an interference with the judiciary. Nnamdi Kanu was not arrested. He was abducted. He was kidnapped in Kenya. I was the first person to reveal that he was abducted in Kenya. I got that directly from the British government. I revealed that, you know, when he came in, nobody knew how he came in. I said it. I said, this man was abducted by the Nigerian government from Kenya and brought to Nigeria. So already that is an extrajudicial action. So when you say that you don't want to interfere, I mean, it's very, very simple. It's like you see a man beating up a child, and then the man says, you know what, I love children, I don't like beating up children. But I just saw you beating up a child. So this man was abducted already. So that is an extrajudicial intervention there. Okay, now you've abducted the man. Is Nnamdi Kanu having free access to his lawyers? No. His lawyers have said it there. He's not having free access to his lawyers. He's not having free access to his family. Already that there is an interference with the judiciary. So why is Nnamdi Kanu being kept with the DSS? So these are questions that that should be asked. This administration does not respect the rule of law. We saw what happened 3 months ago when the Attorney General of the Federation himself was accused by policemen who went, no, not 3 months ago, 2 months ago, who went to the house of a Supreme Court Justice Mary Odili. The policemen, they went there, they said that they had warrants, they did not have any warrants. At the end of the day, the media came in, the governor of Rivers State, irrepressible Kike, went there, several people went there, and then when the media came in, they were embarrassed, the policemen were identified, and then they began to say, okay, I was sent here directly by the Attorney General of the Federation. The Attorney General of the Federation denied that, but later on pictures emerged of an identity card signed with the signature of the Attorney General of the Federation of the policeman who led that search. Before that, you saw what happened with Justice Ajimo Gobia and other justices where policemen extrajudicially just stormed their houses. So this administration, the president might be saying something. I mean, I hope the president even knows what he's saying, but actions speak louder than words. And this administration has shown that they have no regard for due process or the rule of law or for the judiciary.
Coming on the show, I know you have a lot to do after this. It's been an interesting time having you feature on Real Talk with Kike platform. I wish you the best of your day today. So thank you again for honoring my invitation.
Oh, thank you very much, Kike. I really enjoyed myself here. Thank you.
We hope to have you some other time again because it's going to be very extensive. I was going to come to you on Twitter, people. I mean, as a young, vibrant man that we have at he's gone.
All right,
so we'll come back to that.
Many thanks for staying with us. I think I should use this opportunity to, first of all, apologize to all those who tried to call in. Apologies to you all because I know that everybody wanted to just chip in their experiences, comments, perspective on the topic at hand. But gosh,
and even on the guests.
Exactly, and of course on the guests, but we didn't have enough time in our hands because of our guests as other engagement. But guys, let's come together, you know, with all that Reno has shared thus far. I think for me, just like I asked you guys when we're on break, that the likes of Reno, will you be able to come back to Nigeria someday, maybe after this administration, because he's also one of the critics of this administration. And I feel that that is where the fundamental human rights of the people have been taken away. The question is, why did Nnamdi Kanu have to be held back? Do you understand? Despite all of the policies that have been put in place that can grant him bail and the likes and all of that. Yes, I understand that he has drawn bail in the past. Do you understand? But there are certain things that we can put in place because of the fundamental human right of the people. What's your take, Danny?
I just think basically, well, Reno might not. The first thing, what is he coming to do? Except probably he has an official appointment or he's going to come back to make things more better. I don't really think anybody that goes out of Nigeria really wants to come back. For what? Come back to what? Come back to meet who?
Well, I disagree with you.
I disagree with you.
Come back for what? That's what I'm saying. Come back for what? Okay, like she mentioned in the case of Nnamdi Kanu. any government, you accept criticism.
No, Nnamdi
you
Kanu.
love it.
I
You
love
love
criticism.
it.
I
when,
stick for it.
You understand? But now it shows like the administration at hand feels like you shouldn't criticize them. Hence, they want to snatch your freedom.
But shall I say something?
So what is it coming to do anyway?
You know, I'm not a big fan of this administration. Yes, I said that. You know, but I just feel that sometimes there needs to be checks and balances. In some other country, there are certain things that you will not see an individual come out and say publicly, especially when it comes to journalists. I feel that everybody is a journalist right now, especially when you have a camera on in your hand. So everybody just typing jargons, pardon my word, for lack of a better word. I feel that what Buhari's administration has done is to put checks and balances before you come out. Make sure you have your facts, which is exactly what Reno was actually emphasizing on. Most times people come in and just come and pour down your own opinion, do you understand? Which can affect other people's mental health. Do you understand?
True.
So I just feel that what he's trying to do is for us to have at least some level of checks and balances. You just cannot come to the social media platform in as much as we are happy that yes, the world is evolving, technology is helping that for us to be a small global village. But the question is, most people that are on social media today, if there are no checks and balances,
they don't have a business to be there.
Marshall, things will be worse. If they don't think that they can be picked, just like what our on this day in history actually have pointed out to us, that there is still one of our colleagues that is yet to be found.
Okay.
Do you understand? So what's your that's my opinion.
Okay. Well, God help me deliver my opinion on what Dami was saying and what you just said now. Kike, the truth of the matter is, you said you said something about could affect
our mental stability and health.
Yeah.
The government itself, is affecting our mental stability. So you don't tell me because hate speech and all of that leads to conflict and crisis when they themselves are fueling conflict and crisis.
Jonathan's administration, people could say anything and anything without being picked. Most journalists today, sometimes we are being gagged by some of the things that will come on this platform to say because we do not want to receive phone calls. Sometimes even after saying them, we still receive phone calls and you see us trying to change the narrative indirectly. But guys, we can be on this and not finish up the show. But quickly, let's go to the last segment of the show, which is the trending story. And the first trending story that caught our attention is that of Femi Falana, human rights advocate and senior lawyer, has kicked against the verdict of Lagos State Department of Public Prosecution of DPP regarding the case against Dowen College. Marsha, let me come to you first. Being a proprietor of a school, what's your take on this when you saw this? That said that. Yes, what's your take?
No problem.
What's your take? Quickly, we are running out of time. What's your take on this issue? With all that you've seen.
A neutral party.
Students,
I think they should go to court. The family should go to court. I mean, autopsy was done in Delta State, and then another one done in Lagos. And my confusion is how a commissioner in Lagos is, saying that what was signed and endorsed by a commissioner in Delta State is not valid, and saying that there was no police. It was just the parents that were present in Delta State when the autopsy was done. I feel the family should go to court. They should take the autopsy to a neutral ground. The government of Lagos State and the federal government should come into this and ensure that a neutral ground sees the autopsy through, because it's believed that the Lagos part of the entire team is being compromised. And if they can have confidence in the Delta side of it or the family side of it, then they should have a neutral ground to do the autopsy.
Well, I think that, like I would always say, this is another case that we are looking at it as a case that is wanting to be deliberately swept under the carpet. Because why not if not? But now, by and large, let's leave that case on one side. The next case is, it could have been any child. And children are resuming school in about a few days' time. Now, what measures are put in place? Some students have even resumed 4th, and some are resuming on the 10th. What measures are put in place? What are the stakeholders meeting? When is it going to happen? Like, you must ensure that, okay, CCTV cameras in all schools. You must ensure a full database of teachers, students, even inclusive of their curriculum. You need to know these things. Some of these things are deterrent and holes that we have found in the Dowen cases. Oh, the housemaster was here. Oh, it was a football injury. Oh, it was this. Oh, it was that. And there's no proper establishment of what actually happened, because what actually happened is still in the dark. So I think moving forward, the Lagos State should enact laws. I mean, the Lagos State is a center of excellence and is almost becoming a citadel of chaos. I'm from Lagos State, and it shames me every time that something backward happens to Lagos, when we should be moving like 20 times forward and showing the world that yes, we can do it with our capital and revenue generation. But now we are going back, we are stepping back, we are moving back, and it's like everybody is all going back. People should not let's be going back. It's 2022. Call stakeholders meeting. Ejoko, what is supposed to be done in the schools? Let it be done there. CCTV camera, security. You people should not shortchange your future.
Well said, Damilola. You know, as you are talking, I'm saying to myself, Nito Balu more. You know, because this week, you know, it weakens me when I see that, when I read on social media that these students and the staff were released. Does it mean that the student perpetrators are free? Because I do not understand, that wasn't really clear. And that the school will return to normal, that was another question that came to mind. Does it also mean that none of the school management will have to pay for their negligence for a child that dies in their custody? You know, I don't seem to understand. So for me, I don't think that it's a fair judgment, you know, and it will raise a lot of doubts on the standard of boarding house, you know, in our country. How come that they hurriedly, you know, reached a verdict just like that in 2 months? You know, what precedents are we setting for this school? So if another child dies again, no one will be able to be held responsible, and the matter will just be swept under the carpet just like that. So I'm sorry to say this, you know, if Sylvester Oromoni Jr. was the son of a high and mighty in our society, they dare not pass such a judgment. Yes, I feel so sorry for the parents of the child, and I feel that this is the reason that some women take the decision of saying that they don't want to have many children, they don't want to give birth to more than one, because in their head they are thinking, are they ready to face the pain and the trauma that comes with having many children? Sometimes we never know circumstances that affect other people's actions. So, but really, educational policies and laws should be focused on during this time as boarding schools are returning to normal. And I feel that the welfare of the people, just like Damilola have also emphasized, you know, must be put in place so that catastrophes like this will not happen again. And that is the reason why we are facing a lot of these challenges today. So quickly, we have a second story at hand. I think the second story at hand is the price of soft drinks to increase, and federal government is, you know, introducing 10 liters on
10 naira
on carbohydrate drinks. You know, quickly, I know we are running out of that. Damilola, in 1 minute, what's your take on this?
Well, I think that 10 naira on every liter. So if you are drinking 1 liter, you already know how much you are paying. Well, I think for the reasons that they want to use it to discourage excessive consumption for medical benefits, obesity, diabetes, and some other. No, you see, they know that there are no hospital, so they are helping us. Maybe we should zero down to water. Water is life. Do you understand? Because corruption has not changed. Even if they collect 100 naira per liter, you will still not see the money. But I think that what should be done is charging these corporate organizations or these manufacturers back to CSR, corporate social responsibility. Make them build hospitals. Make them responsible for consumables in the hospitals. Not just because you want to put 10 naira on a liter and it feels like, oh, we are rigmaroling and recycling corruption.
All right, many thanks for that, Damilola. I feel that for me, I think this is a laudable policy, as quite a number of developed countries have also applied it in the past. I remember that UK was also using the same policy after a large survey that took place in 2015. Because being being in the world, I know a lot of when it comes to surveying most of. But it is, as far as I'm concerned, I think that it will help fight against obesity, just like you mentioned, and of course the sugar-related diseases like diabetes in the country and the likes and all of that. So I feel that the policy will at least discourage people from consuming all of these soft drinks and all of that. However, you know, as an entrepreneur, in my mind, I'm just like, we have to look at this thing from a business perspective, because it will, I don't know, it will not help a lot of organizations, especially when it comes to their profit revenue, you know, the inflow and outflow that comes in. And in my head, I'm thinking as an entrepreneur, I'm saying to myself, how does the books balance? You know, I'm saying to myself, you know, I have one of these organizations who are also sponsors on this platform who are also carbonated drinks producers and all of that. So is this going to affect their business strategy? That's what came to mind. And if it's going to affect their business strategy, what's the way forward? Definitely, I just feel that their financial plans for this year have to change with these new policies that have been put in place. And I'm hoping that at least restructuring in the business world in terms of the models of soft drinks all over the world will beginning to be looked into, especially with all that is happening thus far. I know that we've ran out of time, and I can see Moses holding his hands. But in 30 seconds, Masha, is there anything you would like to add to that?
About sugar and soft drink in 30 seconds, I can't. We're out of time already, guys. Join us in our next episode.
All right, with that, you've heard the house husband saying that we've come to the end of another edition of Real Talk with Kike. Real Talk with Kike's show, like Masha likes to emphasize.
RTWK.
And of course, we indeed had an awesome show on today's episode with our guest Reno Omokri. And I must say many thanks again for joining us on the show. Definitely, we will be inviting you back when you don't have any other engagement on the day. My name is Kike Atanda-Owo. And you are?
Damlola Banire.
And I am Marshall Anthony Ononye. Adios, amigos.
With so much pride.
Bye now.